Alright, so before we get into the video, we're going to be talking about the Daniel Dubois versus Joe Casamundo post-fight review. So Daniel Dubois destroys and knocks out Joe Casamundo in the first round. And my thoughts on it, wow. He just came in there and just gave Casamundo no respect and just completely just beat the crap out of him and just knocked him out like that, man. I mean, it wasn't a vicious knockout, but Joe, like, once I saw that once Joe Casamundo hit him and it didn't do anything to Daniel, I was like, it's over. Because when he threw the first shot, and I was like, it's not doing anything. And then I was like, okay, yeah, it's over. And he completely was like, oh, well, that's how you hit? And then he just came in there and starched Joe Casamundo. I thought that he was going to knock him out somewhere in the early to mid rounds. You know, I did say mid rounds because Casamundo never been knocked out before. But he just couldn't do anything about Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois just hits way too damn hard. I do think Daniel Dubois is gonna be a big problem. I wouldn't mind seeing him have a rematch with Joe Joyce. I don't think he's ready yet, but I would like to see him maybe like fight like a guy like Kubrat Pulev. I think that would be a good fight for him. I think I did say that in my other video with him and Dubois and Bogdan Danu. I said that I said that Kubrat Pulev would be a good fight for him, and I think that that's who he's gonna fight next is Kubrat Pulev. I don't really see anybody like you know, kind of like a gatekeeper, you know, on Daniel Dubois' level than Kubrat Pulev. I think that would be a good fight. I think that would be a really good test for Daniel Dubois. I do think he would put up a better fight against Dubois than what Casamundo did. Casamundo just came in there and just got beaten up. Like, like Dubois didn't show any respect for him. Like, he just went in America and destroyed Joe Casamundo. I did expect Daniel Dubois to knock him out in like, you know, the early rounds. But I didn't expect him to do that in like the first round, to completely starch him like that in the first round. Like that's crazy, man. But anyways, on to the video. Hey, what's up, y'all? Preston from Fight Media 360 here. So this is a quick preview and prediction for Katie Taylor versus Jennifer Hahn. So before we get into all this, I just want to say this fight will be taking place on Saturday, and this will be taking place on the undercard of Mauricio Lara versus Josh Warrington 2. So if you want to watch this, this will be on DAZN, and it'll be in the morning, and I'll most definitely be up to watch this. You know, this is gonna be a good fight, in my opinion. It is gonna be a good fight. But now we got that out the way, so now let's talk about their stats, and then the odds, and then what they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So let's start off with Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor comes into the fight with a record of 18 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. She stands at a height of 5'5" with the 66-inch reach, and she is an orthodox fighter. Jennifer Hahn comes into the fight with a record of 18 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 1 win coming by way of knockout. She stands at a height of 5'6" with a 66-inch reach and is an orthodox fighter. Katie Taylor is listed as a negative 3.3K favorite over Jennifer Hahn. So yeah. So now we got that out the way. So now let's talk about what they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So let's start off with the heavy favorite, Katie Taylor. So what I'd like to see from Katie Taylor is I would like to see her, like, yeah, you can box, but I would like to see her kind of like pressure fight in this fight. Because I can see fights where Katie Taylor will box, and there's fights where Katie Taylor will be aggressive. And in this fight, I would like her to be aggressive, because Hahn, she can box pretty well. But I think that, you know, that she should just rough Hahn up, you know, kind of like just dominate the fight by doing that, you know, tear up her body, you know, just beat her up, you know, and just be aggressive. But you can box also, you know, time your way in. But I would prefer to just pressure fight in this fight, because it's not like Hahn has good head movement. She has decent head movement, you know. But she can box still, but Katie Taylor should just come in there, aggressive. She can box, but you can also box aggressively, and just pretty much just use your experience in a higher level over Han. Kind of like time like kind of like use your jab, if you want to box, or like just pretty much just kind of like time your way in, and then pretty much once you hit her and like kind of like hurt her, that's when you can rough her up, and pretty much just beat her body in, just beat up her face, and pretty much just maybe try to look for the stoppage. So that's what Katie Taylor needs to do to win. So yeah. So now for Jennifer Hahn. Jennifer Hahn needs to box. She can box. She can box pretty well. Um, you know, so she definitely needs to use her jab over Katie Taylor. Use your height advantage, definitely your reach, because Han, she does have longer arms than Katie Taylor, so she definitely needs to use that. And make sure you don't let Katie inside, because that's what Katie's good at, is coming inside and beating your body up, and just beating you up in the inside. So you definitely need to keep your range. Use your jab to keep Katie off of you. Pretty much just make her Katie pay whenever she comes into the inside. Even though Jennifer Hahn doesn't have a whole lot of power, just try to hit, and just move out the way, and just pretty much just do that, and just hit, move out the way, and make sure you do not let Katie Taylor come into the inside. And you need to be very, very, very dominant in this fight, because you can't win by a close points decision, because Katie Taylor, I believe she's unified. So I'm not sure, but she definitely needs to like win convincingly. She cannot let Katie come up like close, because then they're just gonna favor Katie, because Katie is the favorite, and she is more of the household name. So she definitely needs to like make this fight a convincing win for you. Box your way, but you have to make this a shutout. You cannot let Katie try to hit you a whole lot, and you cannot let Katie give you a lot of rounds, because then they're just gonna rob you, because they don't want Katie Taylor to look bad, because Katie Taylor has a very big fan base, and they don't want her to look bad, you know. So that's what Jennifer Hahn needs to do to win. So yeah. So my final prediction for this fight, I mean, Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor should easily win this fight. Nothing against Jennifer Hahn, but Katie Taylor should easily dominate this fight. Like, I think she should win this fight like by a unanimous decision. I'm gonna say she's gonna win maybe. I think Jennifer Hahn's gonna win like maybe 1 or 2 rounds. But I just think Katie Taylor is just too. She's just too active for Hahn. I just think that she's just a better boxer than Hahn. She's more aggressive than Hahn. She can make more adjustments than Hahn. Kind of like in the fight against what's her name? Natasha Jonas. Natasha Jonas, she was having some moments in that fight. And then after that, Katie started winning once she made adjustments. Even though Katie was winning a lot of the rounds, Katie was making adjustments in the fight. She was trying to box Jennifer, but Jennifer was kind of beating her at that game. But then she started being aggressive, and Natasha isn't really good at fighting girls that are aggressive. And I think that the adjustments of Taylor would just be just way too much for Han. And the experience of being in the higher level of Katie Taylor would just be way too much. And that's why I picked Katie Taylor to win this fight by a very wide unanimous decision. So yeah. So that's my final prediction. I got Katie Taylor by a very wide unanimous decision. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston from Fight Media 360. And thank y'all for watching this video.